I love the questions because they sort of reveal a deeper understanding of a truth that we must face now more than ever before, that we have to become, and we actually are, more porous than we believe. We really truly are. And that has to be true for our movements. I mean, and I see it so clearly and so sharply when I think of two movements that need to work together and hold hands in more like in more concerted ways, and that is the anti-war movement on the one hand and the climate justice movement on the other hand. I have been in too many spaces where I see those two movements, being like relatively effective in their own ways, but they don't join up. They miss opportunities for cross-pollination and for important sort of mutually reinforcing work. I mean, that solidarity, especially between those two movements, is so clear to me. And also, like, I just want to and I'll stay for 2 more minutes, 5 more minutes, but can I also add something completely ancillary to this discussion, but just by way of illustration? Is that okay, Claire? Okay, so I spent the last almost 6 years of my life almost singularly focused on one thing. That is representing Vanuatu before the International Court of Justice, seeking an advisory opinion on climate change. We were told the entire time, I mean, the whole 5.5 year journey by naysayers, that we couldn't do it, we were unrealistic, we were too ambitious, and it wasn't achievable. That with the legal question we were seeking to have the world's highest court answer, i.e. that states have all of these climate-related obligations, and when they breach those obligations, it gives rise to legal consequences in the form of climate reparations. We were told that that is way too ambitious and absolutely impossible. So what we did was we did what all activists kind of like need to do, which is like take a really sobering, realistic assessment of power and realize exactly who are your clearest, most natural allies. For Vanuatu and for the Pacific, it's, for example, the Caribbean and all of Africa. It's basically every single climate vulnerable country and community for whom climate change is an existential threat and who needs a genuine and decisive interruption or radical departure from business as usual. That is climate vulnerable countries. So we ignored the inherited wisdom. We didn't court the global north countries. We instead focused on the Pacific, the Caribbean, Africa. And then we got a coalition once OACPS, a block of 79 states, came on board. We were so much closer to the majority we needed at the UN General Assembly, which is like 97 states, right? So, and that's when the momentum happened. And we did it by actually ignoring the conventional wisdom and actually realizing that that's what we always have to do. We have to, like, who has the most to benefit? Identifying the parties with the least amount of power and making common cause and understanding that we need to do this together. And that's why that was a success. And in short, the court not only delivered sort of everything we asked it for, but it did so unanimously, which is like the fifth time in its 80-year history that ever happened. And a small indigenous-led law firm, a small indigenous country, mostly indigenous country, Vanuatu in the Pacific, led that initiative. And so that's just a really concrete example of what we all need to do, and that's how I'll end maybe, is that we have to be almost like fiercely stubborn, and have a fidelity to our vision, our political and sort of like this unmatched moral clarity. It has to all be bundled together, and that's sort of the ingredients that's necessary to see something through, including putting an end to the military industrial complex. Thank you so much.